Have you ever had a person call you that say their winch doesn't work? A lot of times the problem is in this clutch mechanism on the inside of this winch. When they leave the cable tight, when they quit on it sometime, and then they come back 1 month later and it doesn't work, what happens is this little collar tightens down, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a steel washer here, there's a cork washer, a little gear here, and then another cork washer and this hub. But what happens is, if this stays tight, what happens is when it dries, that all seizes together, so it's just like it can't move. This little dog right here keeps this sprocket from turning, from going down. That's why when you crank up, you can always turn it up, but as soon as you turn it down, this hub comes loose, and that allows this shaft to turn on this sprocket, so it could go down. These washers on both sides keep it from, when you're going up, keeps it tight, but when you loosen it, it just slides on that. And what you have to do is take this collar off, or this cover off, and loosen it, and make sure that your panels are down, because if you take this loose and break this loose, it's going to fall down. It's just going to go. So make sure there's no pressure on your winch. But loosen this hub and make sure that this washer and this, don't have that nice. Take this off. Okay. So this hub will just come off like this. And here's one of the fibro collars. Here's the little metal one with the dogs, or with the teeth. And then here's another one. And then this is the bottom one. So what happens is this turns in there when it's going down. So you just have to make sure that this is all loose. So then you can just put it back together. And I was just talking to them the other day. It's not a bad idea to, if you every now and then put a dab of grease on these threads, so that when this is out in the open and out in the weather, it can sometimes kind of want to seize up. It just gets tight, dry. So put a little dab of grease on this thread so that it turns easier. But that probably 85 to 90% of the time that people call, that's what the problem is. It's just a minor fix, but it's when they leave the cable tight, and this here is tight, like that, it just seizes together. So, any questions? I don't know.
Can you get them two washers separate?
I could probably order them.